The top 15 highest paid female athletes of 2025 have been revealed, and on the very top of this list is none other than Coco Gauff.
This season, Coco Gauff did more than just take home awards. She just became the richest female athlete in the entire planet. A teenager who, more quickly than anyone could have predicted, moved from being a potential player to a worldwide celebrity. But as soon as this information was revealed, everyone's attention turned to Aryna Sabalenka. Fans immediately noted Sabalenka's response because in a rivalry this fierce, accomplishment isn't just recognized but also compared. The message, the tension, and the quiet. Even though Coco was deserving of the throne, Sabalenka was taken aback by what transpired, and many claimed that she had been humbled beyond recognition.
Coco Gauff hit $8 million in winnings and $23 million in endorsements, which makes her the highest paid female athlete across all sports, which is so insane. She's so young and has achieved so much. I'm so proud of her.
However, there is much more to this tale than just money. Not only did Coco Gauff rise, but she burst onto the international scene. She was a young star who everyone thought had the potential to be great someday, and then she was making money that even tennis legends would be jealous of. Her victory at the US Open was more than just a championship victory. It was a breakthrough in business. She was the focal point of whole promotions for New Balance. $1 million floodlight was put on her wrist by Rolex. Every major company, including Bose, UPS, Barilla, and Head, appeared to pour in at once, vying for the opportunity to be associated with her name. Because Coco is a movement rather than just a champion. She's confident, socially aware, and approachable in a way that connects with both ardent tennis fans and the casual observer scanning through social media.
So obviously, I think you've had so much success early on that we take for granted that you're only 21 years old. Where do you think you're at in terms of your career development, both on and off the court?
I think on court, I feel like so far away from my potential, which I guess if you asked me that before, I used to think, oh, like it's happening now, so I gotta capitalize the moment. But then I'm like looking at the tour and I'm seeing girls like really having their best results at like 25, 26. So I feel like in 4 years, I feel like I would be where I would like to be. But obviously that doesn't take away from everything I've done right now. But I think I'm just eager to improve and get better.
She is admired by adults, looked up to by children, and viewed as a long-term superstar by investors. Her income skyrocketed to tens of millions annually, surpassing Serena Williams' earnings in certain seasons and putting her above well-known figures like Emma Raducanu and Iga Swiatek. She is barely 20 years old. She's not even at her best right now. This is just the start of what has the potential to be one of the most lucrative careers in the history of women's sports.
At what point did you kind of realize that you had a gift, that you're better than everyone else, I guess, at that level, and maybe professional tennis would be something for you?
There were a few moments when I won Little Mo when I was 8 years old. It was like an international tournament. It was in New York City, and there was kids from all over the world coming to play that tournament. And so for me, it was like, oh, like I was just so used to playing people in my backyard. I was like, oh, maybe I actually have a shot. But I was still like only 8, so I didn't have any awareness. But I think when I won Junior French Open, I think I was 13 or 14, 13 when that happened. Final US, yeah, I was 13. I think that's when I realized, okay, a lot of people were winning junior slams and turning pro. So I felt like at that time I knew I would go pro, but it's no guarantee you're going to be successful or not.
However, the strange element was that the spotlight changed more as Coco soared. All of a sudden, Coco Gauff appeared in bold letters on every magazine cover, advertisement, and viral headline. Additionally, when one star dominates the sky, the shadow is felt by other stars. Because someone else has put in just as much effort, engaged in just as ferocious combat, and dominated competitions with unparalleled strength. She is no longer the topic of conversation, though. Aryna Sabalenka is that person. Fans couldn't help but wonder how Sabalenka reacted when Coco was formally declared the richest female athlete in the world. That's when things became intriguing and much more intimate. The last 2 seasons have been nothing less than a struggle for supremacy for Aryna Sabalenka. She has been the dominant player at the top of the rankings, making it to the Grand Slam finals, winning the Australian Open and demonstrating that she is among the sport's most formidable rivals. She plays with unadulterated power, intense passion, and an attention-grabbing presence. She believed that she had earned the right to represent women's tennis, as did many others. However, Coco's arrival completely altered the plot. Not only did Coco defeat her in one of the year's most important matches, millions of people watched the US Open final. It was the subsequent reactions of the world. Instead of honoring Sabalenka's amazing season, Coco was the focus of headlines, advertisements, and fan excitement. Suddenly, Sabalenka's achievements seemed to be overshadowed by the brilliant new star who won people over in a single night. It was therefore more than simply news when it was revealed that Coco Gauff had become the richest female athlete in the world, earning more than any other female athlete. A claim that Coco was more than just a title winner. She was winning the fight for influence, marketability, and worldwide attention. Fans have always observed the tension when Coco's name is mentioned, and Sabalenka has never been afraid to express emotion. The arena's competitive fire doesn't go out quickly, and witnessing her adversary ascend so quickly, so high, and so publicly struck a deeper chord than any forehand. However, this was not the beginning of the tension. It began on one of the most significant evenings of their professional lives, and everything would alter at that particular moment. It took some time for the fire between Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka to start. During the US Open final, it erupted. Sabalenka emerged as the unstoppable force, the number 2 seed, the favorite, and the powerhouse that everyone anticipated would complete the task under the bright lights of New York. However, Coco wasn't merely there to perform. She arrived to assume control. The energy changed point by point. The crowd roared louder for Coco. The pressure on Aryna increased. Sabalenka's rage erupted in the locker room as the stadium erupted after Coco's first Grand Slam victory was secured by the final stroke. The moment a racket was smashed was captured on camera. There were a lot of emotions and a face that suggested this wasn't just a loss. It was a humiliating experience. The press room followed. Sabalenka did her best to stay composed. However, the tension was clear. Subtle observations about Coco's so-called lucky defensive approach suggest that the audience was involved, a forced smile that ignited a fire she was unable to extinguish. In the meantime, Coco celebrated like the new face of American athletics, dancing, laughing, giving family hugs, and becoming viral. And even after they left the arena, it continued. The rivalry was embraced by fans. Online debate follows online debate. Was Coco really the superior player? Did pressure cause Sabalenka to choke? The rivalry felt raw, intimate, and far from finished because of the memes, comparisons, and turmoil. Fans so made the connection right away when Coco's wealth figures were revealed months later. They recalled the broken racket. They recalled the trembling grin. They recalled Sabalenka's intense desire for that attention. Coco had now achieved something even greater than a Grand Slam victory. However, what transpired next would escalate the animosity. Social media went crazy as soon as Coco Gauff was voted the richest female athlete in the world, and fans instantly focused on Aryna Sabalenka. Everyone was curious about Coco's biggest opponent's reaction. The silence, however, was what was most noticeable. Sabalenka didn't recognize the news, offer congratulations, or exhibit any online emotion. And that stillness felt louder than any words Aryna could have spoken, even for someone with her boldness and expressiveness. Screenshots of Sabalenka ignoring posts about Coco rapidly went viral, provoking memes and jokes that said she had just been humiliated globally. Fans made fun of the fact that Coco had defeated her in the realm of fame, power, and financial superiority in addition to the bright lights of the US Open. Coco's achievements were being praised everywhere Sabalenka looked. Even though Aryna has made millions of dollars, it was obvious that this moment hurt. Because in sports, it's not only about winning, it's also about how the world perceives you. All of a sudden, Coco was more than just a champion. She was a celebrity, and the focus had changed whether Sabalenka liked it or not. Tennis was no longer the only aspect of the rivalry. It was about power, position, and who everyone thinks is the real face of the game. However, Coco's ascent wasn't fortuitous. Her brand was intended to become dominant. The instant the world learned Coco Gauff had the ability to inspire others, she transcended her role as a tennis player. She speaks with a confidence that belies her age. She stands up for what she believes in. And she does it all with the kind of charisma that companies long for. Coco does more than just pitch a product when she appears in front of the camera. She conveys an emotion. She is a symbol of the future. Young, fearless, multicultural, and unquestionably American. Engaging in the world's most popular sport. That combination is quite valuable. Businesses saw her as the ideal narrative. A relatable child who maintained her authenticity throughout her development into a leader, champion, and role model. She dances with admirers. During interviews, she makes jokes. Additionally, she never hesitates to confront injustice when she witnesses it. That's what separates her from most athletes. You're purchasing her influence as well as her talent. Her viral moments are intentional. They serve as evidence of her unmanufactured relationship to the public. Coco Gauff poses no danger to brands. You can count on her. Sabalenka observes from across the internet as Coco gathers endorsement after endorsement, realizing that she is outgrowing opponents rather than merely outperforming them. Because the momentum becomes unstoppable when the world selects its next big star. Coco is becoming the athlete that businesses use as the focal point of their advertising campaigns. Despite all of her achievements, Sabalenka is still vying for that position, and the pressure is mounting. However, Sabalenka is dealing with a more serious issue that is unrelated to sponsorships or forehands. On the other hand, Coco's ascent feels festive. The public hardly ever sees the many challenges Sabalenka has faced. She is among the world's strongest athletes. However, she is continually under rigorous scrutiny that is unrelated to her skill. She has found herself in awkward, high-pressure circumstances at press conferences where media seem more interested in headlines than tennis due to the political issues surrounding her Belarusian identity. Even the toughest athletes would tremble at the questions she has been asked. Additionally, every misconstrued word serves as fodder for online criticism. The dramatic moments we see on the court, the yells, the broken rackets, the tears she attempts to conceal, are more than just passion. They are the outcome of a career being evaluated according to certain criteria. Coco just doesn't have to. Sabalenka is powerful when she prevails. She is called emotional when she loses. She is suspected of concealing something while she remains silent. She is constantly at odds with what other people want her to be. So when Coco goes onto the spotlight smiling with the audience behind her and the world cheering her triumph, Sabalenka feels the weight of that difference. It's irritation, not jealousy. She is aware of how much she has sacrificed, how hard she works, and how much she longs to be the protagonist of her own tale. However, the story currently belongs to someone else. And that's the kind of pressure that may start a strong comeback or start a deadly fire. Because whether supporters love her or doubt her, one thing is certain. Sabalenka doesn't keep silent for very long. However, the question at hand is where this rivalry will end up. This rivalry is far from finished. Actually, it's just getting started. Aryna Sabalenka does not let a setback to define her, even though Coco Gauff currently holds the financial championship. She has always returned with a stronger swing after being knocked down. She will be returning to the court with a fresh fire for the upcoming season. Because winning titles is no longer the only goal. It's about demonstrating that she is deserving of the same attention, opportunities, and respect that Coco is currently receiving. Furthermore, Coco is not going to slow down for anyone. She is prepared to surpass the expectations of the world as soon as they arise because she is aware of them. She desires greater partnerships, more slams, and a legacy that sets her apart from all previous players. Coco has the opportunity to create an empire because of her growing influence. Serena herself stated that it would require a unique type of athlete to do this. What does that produce, then? A fierce rivalry that makes each of their games feel like a huge event. Their enthusiasm, background, and determination all set the setting for a conflict that would shape women's tennis in the upcoming 10 years. Every battle will feel personal, every victory will hurt, and every defeat will make headlines. The world's wealthiest athlete faces off against the fighter who wants to overthrow her. It's the right fuel for a new era of competition. Fans are passionate about kindness. However, there is now one unanswered question regarding the sport. Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka represent two completely different paths to greatness. One was climbing with unstoppable momentum, while the other was struggling to overcome every obstacle in her path. However, that's what makes this competition so interesting. Coco is currently at the forefront of the sports industry, the world's wealthiest female athlete, with fans, businesses, and tennis's future all behind her. Sabalenka, on the other hand, have the drive, strength, and hunger to change the plot. She is also more driven than ever to regain the limelight. Money and awards are no longer the only factors in this. It has to do with pride. It has to do with legacy. It concerns who will shape the story of women's tennis in the years to come. Every time they take the court together, everyone on the planet will be watching to see who wins and who loses. What do you think, then? Is Aryna Sabalenka going to start the ultimate vengeance arc, or is Coco Gauff going to dominate the sport for the next generation? This narrative is just getting started, so please share your thoughts in the comments.